has more on that from the Weather Center.
That's right. You heard Judge Canales mention we've already had a named storm, Arthur, earlier this week, which is now gone. And this is the 6th year in a row that we've had a storm form before the official beginning of the season, which Greg mentioned is less than 2 weeks away on June 1st. We average 12 named storms, 6 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. The Colorado State forecast as of early April, this will be updated on June 1st, is 16, 8, and 4. And last year we had 18 named storms, 6 hurricanes, and 3 majors. So very active last year. This year, the bottom line is it's expected to be above normal. It only takes one. That's why you got to be prepared no matter whether we have 1 or 41 in our system this year for the 2020 season. Satellite and radar show storms to the west will approach and dissipate tonight. And with that, we will continue to see lots of heat here in the coastal bend. It's 85 now, 91 to the west, and the heat index value continues to soar across the region. In a few minutes, I'll have your complete forecast. Does it or does it not include rain? I'll tell you about it right here. Lee?
Well, Memorial Day weekend traditionally starts the summer vacation and travel season, but that's not the case this year. Most Americans expected to stay home for the holiday weekend because of the CDC's recommendations against non-essential travel. And AAA expects to see a record low travel volume. In fact, for the first time in 2 decades now, the AAA is not releasing a travel forecast. But what sort of risk do you face if you do travel? Well, the CDC says that depends on how you travel. If you go by air, you're at risk of being exposed to COVID-19 on crowded airline flights. Traveling by bus or train means sitting or standing within 6 feet of other people for a prolonged period of time, and that will also increase the risk of getting or spreading the virus. Car travel may seem safe, but the stops you make along the way could put you at risk for infection. RV travel means fewer stops for food or bathrooms, but RV travelers typically stop at parks or other public places for overnight stops, and those stops could also put you in close contact with others who might be infected. Well, concerns about coronavirus have also prompted the Padre Island National Seashore to cancel a popular series of summertime events. The park will not hold any public sea turtle releases this summer. Now, those releases typically attract hundreds of spectators. Park officials say it would be just too difficult to maintain social distancing and other crowd avoidance guidelines. So instead, videos of the turtle releases will be posted on the National Seashore's Facebook page. And a quick reminder to check our website frequently for all the latest on the COVID-19 crisis. Our social media team working very hard to provide you with the most online content available as quickly as possible. Also, don't forget to download our free Chris 6 News app to get breaking news alerts sent straight to your smartphone. A bond reduction hearing held this morning for Brandon Portillo. He's charged with intoxication manslaughter and intoxication assault. He's accused of killing a police officer and injuring 2 others during a drunk driving incident back in January. Here's our Seth Kovar now with more on today's hearing.
The wreck that happened on that overpass back on January 31st took the life of Officer Alan McCollum and injured 2 other officers. Those surviving officers spoke today at a pretrial hearing for the man accused of causing the wreck. The hearing over the Zoom app was called for by the lawyer for Brandon Portillo in hopes of reducing his $1.5 million bond. He's been in jail ever since he supposedly drunkenly crashed into police cars at the site of a traffic stop on SPID over Carroll Lane. Officer Alan McCollum died in the wreck. Officer Kiyomi Muniz was hurt. Today in the hearing, she described the wreck as the worst thing she's had to deal with in her whole life. Officer Mike Love was badly hurt, and he described what he's been going through over the past 3.5 months.
I had to relearn how to walk. I still now have to use a walker. I can't lift my own kids up because they're over 10 pounds. That's pretty much where I'm at right now.
Portillo's lawyer argued that he's running out of money while sitting in jail unable to work, and Portillo himself argued that he and his family and friends cannot come up with the money to cover a $1.5 million bond. But in the end, the judge denied the request to reduce the bond. Reporting in Corpus Christi, Seth Kovar, Chris 6 News.
Getting through this with stories to help you get back on track. This is the Rebound Coastal Bend.
The reopening of businesses and offices across the state is allowing more people to go back to work, but some are still sitting at home. Navigating this new normal has been tough, especially for those who have yet to return to work, but they have the opportunity to get some help in the meantime. Our Rebound reporter Jeff Dubroff explains.
If you walk into Water Street Oyster Bar today, you'll notice a server, Isaac Flores, working hard. This is nothing new, but he has newfound energy at his job. That's because in March, for the first time in over 2 decades working at the restaurant, he was told to go home.
I was thinking, what are we going to do next?
When restaurants closed their dining rooms 2 months ago, tough decisions had to be made by those in charge.
It's heartbreaking for us when we have no hours and no work for these people that have made their careers out of it.
The number of unemployed continued to soar. According to Visit Corpus Christi, 38% of all unemployment claims nationally came from the travel and tourism industry. So Visit Corpus Christi took action.
Visit CC Cares was created because so many employees were getting furloughed.
Thanks to donations from various members of the community, Visit Corpus Christi is able to provide grants to furloughed workers. Through an application on its websites, employees answer a series of questions to determine if they're eligible for a monetary donation to keep them afloat. Flores answered from the heart.
I told him about everything's different from day to day. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, the next day or whatever.
He was quickly accepted, which came as no surprise to his boss, Richard Lomax, and Meredith Darden of Visit Corpus Christi.
He's stable, calm, cool, and collected.
He is so committed to the success of that organization.
The amount of money donated is private, and to Flores, it helps all the same.
Every bit helps,
Tourism in Corpus Christi is essential. According to Governor Greg Abbott's latest economic impact report, tourism is the #2 industry in the Coastal Bend, creating 26,000 jobs per year and attracting 10.49 million visitors annually. Not all furloughed employees in the Coastal Bend are eligible for the Visit CC Cares grants, so here are the requirements. You must have been a full-time employee that worked in the travel or tourism industry. Restaurants, though, such as Water Street Oyster Bar, do count. You must have been in good standing with your employer before you were furloughed. And lastly, you're going to need a letter of recommendation. Meredith Darden is hoping funds last a long time. To help with that, they're getting a much-needed boost from the Corpus Christi Hooks with a jersey auction.
We had the jerseys. We knew we wanted to do a jersey auction, and we were trying to think of where could we have the biggest impact right now.
Fans can bid on jerseys through their team website. All the proceeds will go to Visit CC Cares, hopefully giving more people like Isaac Flores some relief before they can go back to work.
We got to go on. Life has to go on,
For the Rebound Coastal Bend, I'm Jeff Dubroff.
Facebook is lending assistance to small businesses. The social media giant is introducing Facebook Shops. It's like a virtual marketplace that creates a single online store for customers. Now, there's no charge in developing a Facebook shop. Facebook says this new application will make buying and selling online more simple. Now, you know that working from home presents a lot of challenges. One of the biggest ones is protecting yourself from hackers. Well, here's a few tips that maybe can help you with your digital security. Make sure that you have two-factor authentication and other layers of protection. Look for phony emails that are disguised as something from a service desk or from work, and have your computer scanned by an expert before you bring it back to work. Don't forget that you also, if you have a question or maybe you have an idea for us, email us rebound@christv.com.
In other news, the Texas Rangers arrested Refugio County Deputy Jeffrey Raymond this morning. Now, he's accused of tampering with evidence during a death investigation. However, no other details have been released on that case at this point. Well, 2 officers trying to break up a huge brawl on the west side found themselves on the receiving end of some punches. And just before 5, police called to the area of Horn Road and Crosstown for a fight involving 5 people. When the officers arrived and tried to break up the slugfest, 3 of the people involved started attacking the police officers. 2 of them were arrested, a third ran off. The officers luckily were not hurt. All 3 people now facing several charges, including assault on an officer, resisting arrest, and evading arrest. Well, still no arrest in connection with vehicle burglaries earlier this week at the Salvation Army's family store over on SBID. Now, this is surveillance video of the break-in last weekend. 2 suspects got in through a gate there, then stole some parts from 2 delivery trucks, leaving those trucks unable to run. And those were going to be used to deliver personal protective equipment to first responders this week.
We are actually the supplier, the drivers, for dispersing the supplies that the National Guard and Texas Department of Emergency Management want to get out to the hospitals.
Now, the Salvation Army ended up renting 2 trucks to make sure that those supplies were delivered to our local first responders as scheduled. Well, please don't feed the alligators. That's the latest message from the city of Port Aransas and residents and visitors. Port A has a resident alligator population like this 12-footer you see right here that wandered into town back in 2018. Now, the gators are normally found out here at the Port Aransas Nature Preserve, and plenty of people go out there to watch them in their natural habitat. But some folks have been ignoring the signs not to feed the gators.
There are some people bringing raw chicken or other items, food items for the alligators to eat. We don't want the alligators to start walking out expecting something from people.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen. That could lead to potentially dangerous encounters. And if the alligators do become a nuisance for the city, well, the only solution would be to remove them from the preserve and relocate them somewhere else. And by the way, if you're caught feeding those gators, it's against local and state laws, and you can expect a very expensive citation.
Yeah, do not feed those alligators at all. Well, there's going to be some changes to summer camp this year because of the coronavirus. We've got the details coming up right after the break. The Gregory Portland School District is going to have both an outdoor and a virtual ceremony for its graduating seniors. The virtual ceremony is already being worked on by a professional video company. Now, the release date for that video is going to be announced in June. Health screenings are going to be required for both the outdoor and the virtual ceremony. The governor has given the go-ahead for summer camps to begin, but there will be some changes because of coronavirus. Our Catherine McGinty tells us what's going to be different.
The Corpus Christi Museum of Science and History is gearing up to begin their summer camp June 1st with some new protocols in place. The local health district is advising youth camps to follow guidelines issued by the governor. Those include daily health screenings for staff and training on disinfecting. The governor is also encouraging campers to wear cloth face coverings. Places like the Texas State Aquarium canceled their summer camps altogether. For those organizations that are moving forward with camps, they say the new guidelines will certainly impact the normal summer camp dynamic. Some parents are satisfied with the governor's changes and others still have concerns.
There are definitely a lot of precautions and they've sanitized and cleaned and all that, so I feel confident with that.
As moms, we sanitize everything we have when Germix and masks, and even then we're still scared. Like, what if something happens? What if they get something from someone.
Here at the museum, they will be limiting the number of campers, separating them into groups, and planning more outdoor, open-air activities. Reporting in Corpus Christi, Catherine McGinty, Chris 6 News.
Boy, the AC really got a workout today, didn't it? The summer sizzle has begun, and we're not even in summer yet. Dale's up next with the forecast, so stick around.
Now, your Chris 6 weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Dale Nelson.
Hi, everybody. Another hot day, as Katya mentioned earlier. Indeed, as we hit 92 degrees. We're down to 85 right now, but still in the 90s as you get back to the west there along 281. As far as the dew point temperatures go, in the mid to upper 70s, even 80 degrees right now at Beeville on the dew point temperature. Oh, so oppressive. That's what led to an overnight low last night of 75 degrees here. The feel-like temperature today only topped out at 108 in Corpus Christi. That's down from 112 yesterday, and it still feels like 104 in Beeville and 107 in Alice. And the feel-like or heat index forecast takes us over 100 degrees again tomorrow, although a little better than today, and also over 100 degrees on Friday. And with this high pressure over us, as you can see right here, that will suppress rainfall activity. There are storms firing along the Sierra Madre tonight. They will advance out into the brush country, and I believe they'll dissipate before they ever get close to us later tonight. There's that omega block going on, but that's about to change as this high slides under the low, and that kicks out to the north and east. So here's what's happening with this system. The high up above and on top of us has sinking air, so that suppresses any rainfall activity because the air is sinking instead of rising. You need rising air for rain, and that's what we're going to be looking at here headed into the holiday weekend, especially on Sunday and into Monday and next week. But right now in the short run, 85 degrees outside, not bad. We'll be at 79 at midnight with a pretty good breeze blowing, and that breeze will stay up all night long and hold our temperature at about 76 degrees. We'll call it mid-70s. Satellite and radar shows we've got hazy but clear skies now. There's the storms out to the west, severe thunderstorms in the Permian Basin and up into the Big Sky country, firing along that stationary boundary. Hazy, hot and humid across the region. We mentioned earlier Arthur is no more. Not even a non-tropical system in the Atlantic. So here we go with our day part forecast. Very warm start at 77, breezy and sticky, 88 at noon, and 89, lots of sunshine sweltering at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Very similar to today. We'll dial that temperature down from 92 today to 91 tomorrow with the wind and again the atmosphere breaking down a little bit as that high moves off to the east. 86 in Port Aransas. So future clouds and rain, you can see that rain out to the west dissipating, maybe a sprinkle in the morning, but nothing significant. Sunshine and heat tomorrow afternoon. And the same on Friday. We'll start with a lot of sunshine, maybe a stray inland shower here Friday afternoon, but not in Corpus Christi. There's the high breaking down, as you can see there, moves off to the east. Low pressure comes in rather inconspicuously. This doesn't really show the whole story here. This is the upper level instability or what we call vorticity in the meteorological world, and it shows a lot of it in red here by Sunday morning. Depending on whether this low is to our south or to our north will determine exactly how much rain we're going to get, but it's going to be close to us, and there is rain in the forecast for Sunday, and it'll vary widely from over 2 inches in our northern counties to less than 1/4 of an inch in some spots. So that's a big range across the Chris 6 viewing area. 91 tomorrow, 90 on Friday, 91 Saturday. Likely showers and thunderstorms on Sunday, some heavy, but not all. Memorial Day, just isolated showers continuing into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So Lee, the wettest of the next 7 is this Sunday.
All right, thank you very much, Dale. Well, coming up after the break, we're going to take you to Flower Bluff for this evening's edition of We're Open. Alan Harwell is going to tell you about a business there that literally helps keep the fire department afloat.